all you see is instant poverty of melanated people. So I gotta be the big mouth and tell you why everything is burning up, because that's what I was sent here to do. So get prepared.
Own brand of reptilian cruelty for the universe to see. This is Kimberly Jackson, the former President Andrew Jackson's direct bloodline relative. As a creative artist, Kimberly says her family, consisting of her billionaire bankster father Richard Jackson and his do-nothing son Richard Jr., are reptilians in nature. They are the non-shape-shifting kind, like Hillary Clinton and George Washington, who partake in the other aspects of the diabolical super-rich Caucasian ritual in Western devilization. So yes, in this film entitled Karma, I do envision Susan Sarandon portraying Kimberly Jackson. I also envision Kim Basinger portraying her longtime girlfriend from the school years, Laura Turner, the daughter of the billionaire communication tycoon Ted Turner. So we have here two girlfriends whose fathers are multi-billionaires. The major rub is that the aliens living beneath America's surface gets involved into their lives also. It is the black scientist from the sixth-dimensional world of the Galactic Federation who also gets involved into the lives of these girlfriends. He is known as the Professor.
To the mysterious experience. What will you rise
See, let me show you what
While the U.S. government and its media keeps of these girlfriends. He is known as the Professor.
Now look at that. Ain't these the triangles that we see up by the sun? Ain't that what they are? Do you know, as crazy as it sounds, if you look at these two things, if you inverted this one and brought it and put it behind this one this way, if they could splice together, do you see what a fortress that could become? Both of these things splicing together in the middle. That could happen. You see the shape like that all the time. In the diagonals, and those diamonds that's in the sun. But see, this is what I'll be telling you guys. They can join together and make themselves become one huge, huge battleship. See, all this thing would have to do is invert itself. Let's take this point and flip it around to the back. And then take this piece right here and slide it in place there. Boom. You see how that'll turn into a diamond? You can take this piece right here and splice it right on the side right there. Do you see the angles are already lined up for that? You can join them together and make them be big as hell. I know this stuff intuitively. I do. I know a lot of stuff intuitively. It's just inside of my brain. And the reason why is because I know that I'm a time traveler. As a matter of fact, let me tell you guys what happened yesterday. I was sitting here listening to this Sirius B333. Donald Morrison, I think his name is. Or Morris Donaldson. My brain just be screwed up sometimes. But while I was sitting there, I went into a meditation involuntarily from listening to his voice. That just put me out. I was gone. And when I was meditating, I saw a picture of the sun, and this lady came right out of the sun in my meditation. And it was a Hispanic lady. She looked like she was mixed, black and white. She was really beautiful. I can't lie to you. These ladies who visit me be so beautiful. It's out of this world. And she came, and I was sitting in a lot of light. I was sitting, when the sun came, wherever I was sitting at, the sun started having an interaction with me. And I looked at the sun, and I watched her ride right out of the sunlight and come and sit next to me on a bench, like in a park or something. Because there was a lot of birds around and people around and everything. And then she sat next to me, and I was looking at her, and I started laughing. And she started talking to me, and I was just laughing. She said, "What's so funny? What's so funny?" And I said, "Where did you get that old-ass phone from?" Because she was talking on the phone. And the phone that she had, you know those old ass phones that you put your hand in it and you turn it and it go, and you pick the number by inserting your finger into the little round hole and pull it down with your energy from your finger. She had one of those phones. And I was looking at the phone, I said to her, I say, that phone is so damn ancient. Where the hell did you get that old ass thing from? And she looked at me and she started smiling. She said, you know that you went back in time, don't you? That's what she said to me. That's the reason I have this old ass phone. She said, this technology on this earth is so old and primitive to you. Is what she said. She didn't say that, but she was because 3 days prior to that, I was challenging my brain and I was saying to myself, now am I in the past? Because there's something really wrong. I be seeing people that I know here and I tell my friends about it. I say, you know, I know her. I've had a relation with her before. I told my son that about a lot of people I met here. And people don't understand when you start telling them that because they don't know what spiritual energy is and they don't know how it involves itself with reproducing itself in different manifestations. And if you have clear vibrations, you can identify spiritual energy that stays the same all the time, constantly. All it does is take on new manifestations. But if you really, really bright and you really wise, you can identify the different arrangement of spiritual conversations. Believe it or not, you can. That's the reason why I can have spiritual entities around me and be able to decipher gender. Even though a lot of people say, well, that's impossible because spirituality is just spirituality. It doesn't have gender unless it takes on a manifestation. This is where you're wrong at. Spirituality always brings gender with it because it is the inducing as well as conducing source behind all manifestations. So there could not be a female manifestation or a male manifestation if the thought of a manifestation being female or male was not encapsulated in the realm of spiritual thought. Because it's spiritual thought that moves things and creates the necessity of materialism to coagulate. So spiritual energy does contain the desired or required results of gender, male or female. It's all from thought. So every entity that exists, every manifestation that exists from thought. And that thought designs gender as well as race, as well as color, as well as dimensions, as well as placement, as well as all of that. It's all generated from thought, which is the most spiritual realm of subtlety. It is the most subtle realm of all manifestation because thought is a manifestation itself.
To the mysterious experience. Open new horizons.
While the U.S. government and its media keeps asking the insane question, are we alone? The U.S. government is working with some 27 groups of different aliens, particularly the bad guys.
Welcome to the mysterious experience. Open new horizons. Engage.
Come on in and meet the lady who once told her father that as a little girl I wanted to be a movie star.
Oh yes, I told not only my daddy, I told everybody at school that I would be, not I wanted to be, I would be. I'd be a singer and a movie star. And they all, pushed me down on the playground. That was the end of it. That was, oh yeah, okay.
Could anybody have envisioned that you would have a playing card character on one side of you and
I must admit that Kim Basinger got me good today when she made the statement that she is a mutt and that on her mother's side she is Cherokee. She is my first choice to play Ted Turner's daughter Laura in my projected film Karma. Now I know that Kim Basinger and I are nationhood sisters and brothers because once Cherokee, always Cherokee. It is all a Sirius bloodline.
Wow, imagine that. Do you know, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because do you know that Cherokee is my family bloodline to the native demonstration here on this soil? Let me explain to you how this works. See, I know forever that the people here in America was here from a unique conglomerate of the African soil. So the autochthonous people, all the Native Americans who claim themselves to be autochthonous, you're absolutely right, because let me tell you why. When the land masses broke apart, the land masses are constantly in a state of movement around the globe. They have never in a fixed position, contrary to what people want you to believe. They are constantly moving. They are like a quagmires. They move, they are like floating islands. I don't care what no one says. You do not have a way to determine whether or not these islands, these bodies of materialism inside of this water is moving or staying fixed, because you don't have any fixed locations on the oceans. So you don't know. But common sense would tell you we're constantly drifting, which means that the soil of Americas that was connected at one time to the soil of any and every continent means that the people that is autochthonous to the whole globe are the people that is autochthonous to the whole globe, regardless to where the vagina that pumped them all out. It doesn't matter. Imagine everybody that's born in a hospital in Detroit, Michigan. If you live on the east side of Detroit, you still came from that hospital. If you live on the west side of Detroit, you still came from that hospital. So the hospital being the source of bringing everyone into the rim of that area is what will make them autochthonous, regardless to where they traveled to once they came out of the hospital. They would still be autochthonous to that area that was making all of the recipients be produced from that hospital. So on Earth, everyone that is on Earth is an autochthonous being who was launched from the birthing cradle of civilization of Tanzania. Once birthed in Tanzania, everyone left that area, migrated around the immediate areas, and then when the continents started breaking apart and drifting apart, you were still as autochthonous to the area that you lived in as the person who was actually born in Tanzania, because we cannot dichotomize the earth and see it as being multi-divided as though Europeans look. This is not African science. This is European science. Okay, and it does not work because it's not practical for our dynamics. Which means that the people here in America knew this as well as the people in Africa, and we had ties with each other as a family. And we always visited back and forth and recognized each other as friends, not foe. Even though there was structure builders, there was still the ones who liked the ideal of moving around and being nomadic. And we always recognized each other as being this conglomerate of people. And there was no reason for us to be warring and constantly murdering each other the way they history books tell us, because that was their activities and the way they lived amongst themselves. Our earth had abundance of food for everyone. We had grapes as big as oranges. And we had an abundance of things to eat and give us sustainment, because we were wise and did not spend all our time trying to conquer other people and force them into accepting our way of life, because we did not look at other people and feel that they were superior over us because of our understanding and knowledge of our lacking of skin pigments. So we were not ashamed of who we were, and we did not have an unnecessary desire to prove ourselves as being better or supreme over people by murdering them and eradicating their way of life given to them by the sun. We bring our asses around that cannot process sunlight information, so we have reptilian brains that make us look at everybody as being something that we should objectify and control and conquer and put our flag up, our murderous iconic flag of terror, because that's the only thing that's spread it all through the planet. So when I tell you that my family is Cherokee,